Do you ever wake up feeling exhausted even though you haven't even done anything yet? Like you open your eyes and immediately feel the crushing weight of a to-do list that you haven't even written yet. You feel like you're already behind. On what? You don't know, but you feel the stress. Is it just me, or am I tired before the day even starts sometimes? Like, why am I burning out before I even begin my day? Is this normal? Why am I emotionally, spiritually, and physically drained from an idea of a life that I haven't even lived yet? This is the psychology of preemptive burnout, and it's probably more real than any of us want to admit. Preemptive burnout isn't your boss's fault. It's not your class's fault, or your job, or your YouTube channel that you decided to commit to posting weekly on. It's not necessarily about overworking yourself. It's also about overthinking. It's like the emotional equivalent to loading up like 400 tabs in your brain and never exiting any of them. It's lying in your bed at 2 a.m., feeling like you're a failure because you didn't go on a walk, meal prep, answer emails, and become financially independent in a single afternoon. It's burnout from pressure, but also burnout from potential. From a life that hasn't even happened yet and somehow feels like a disappointment already. And yes, you can absolutely be burned out from your own personality. I can attest. You can wake up with decision fatigue and ambition fatigue and what if I don't live up to my potential fatigue, all before brushing your teeth. And sometimes I feel like we live in an era where everything is a project. Your sleep is tracked, your skincare is 10 steps, your food, macros, your mind must be mindful. It's called the self-optimization culture. And while it sounds like a dystopian Google Calendar setting, the idea is that if you're not constantly improving, you're ultimately falling behind. Even in 2022, the self-help industry was worth over $13 billion. People were spending money on planners, vision boards, manifestation journals, and apps that remind you to breathe. Because I feel like we're sold the idea that rest has to be earned and joy has to be scheduled. But what happens when you're constantly trying to fix yourself is that ultimately you believe that you're broken in the first place. And I feel like I harp on social media a lot, but genuinely social media has a big impact on my mental state. I am Gen Z. I am the target demographic for most of these apps. And most of the time, I feel like social media has trained my generation to perform our lives and not just live them. It's almost not enough to do the thing itself, but you have to like brand it as well. And that performance adds a new type of pressure to be perpetually on the verge of greatness all the time, to always be almost there, pre-success, pre-glow up, pre-published, pre-loved. It's exhausting. And in the internet age, everything is happening at once and feels very dramatic. One 19-year-old is moved out and living in their own apartment, while simultaneously a group of other 19-year-olds can't even find jobs. One 22-year-old just sold their company, but simultaneously all the other 22-year-olds are leaving college with lots of student debt. And I feel like I grew up thinking of life in chapters, right? School, job, family, house. And it's intimidating because now it's just a scroll through so many people who are living at 10 times your speed. And if you're born in Gen Z or younger, I feel like you're born into this. We were raised with YouTube morning routines and 16-year-olds with side hustle vlogs. I've been watching people not only live, but edit their lives since I was 10 years old. So my default mindset is, if I'm not maximizing every single second of my life, am I wasting my one chance? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, AI. On paper, it's amazing. You can type in, write me a business plan for a sustainable candle company, and boom, a full draft right in front of you. But I don't think AI solved our burnout at all. I actually think it made it worse by confirming our fear to try at all. Because why try to even make something mediocre when you can ask a chatbot to make something passable in less than 10 seconds? We don't write the first draft anymore because we're terrified it won't be good enough. We don't brainstorm something because, like, what if it's bad and I could just prompt that? And we don't sit with failure in the end. We just outsource the risk altogether. In other words, AI lets us skip the part that we're most afraid of, being bad at something, before we get good. You can't fall in love with the process if you keep outsourcing the process. And deep down, that's what preemptive burnout is. Not just fear of hard work, it's fear of imperfection. You start a new project, but immediately imagine how it might fail. You cancel plans that you are actually looking forward to. You lie about how busy you are, not because you're swamped, but because you're too tired to even begin. Constantly anticipating a future that hasn't even hurt you yet, but you're already trying to recover from it. And preemptive burnout keeps you small, right? Because when you're already mentally exhausted by starting, you stop trying. You numb yourself with content. You scroll through other people's success and feel like you're watching a version of your life that you missed out on. And worst of all, we call it laziness. This is not laziness, okay? Laziness is not caring at all. Preemptive burnout is caring so much that your brain tries to protect you by shutting down completely. It's your mind going, this is too much, too scary, too important. Let's just stop. It's a terrified response disguised as procrastination. Now, this isn't a self-help video. I'm not going to give you the 5 steps to beat burnout because ironically, trying to fix preemptive burnout usually makes it worse. What I will say is this: your worth isn't measured by your output. You are not a productivity machine. You are a person. And join me in saying this mantra. I don't need to earn rest. I don't need to be a genius by 23. I don't need to start everything perfectly or finish it quickly, because I am yet one human on the earth for the very first time, making my very first mistakes and learning how to be the best possible person that I can be. So if you're lying in bed, frozen, tired from a day you haven't even lived yet, know this. Me too, sister. Hi, I'm Isabella, and thank you for listening and joining me today. If you liked today's video, you should hit that like button because it really helps me out. And thank you to my new lovelies that have joined the family. I'm so happy to have you. Let me know your opinions down in the comments, and if you ever have a topic you'd like me to cover, please let me know as well. Anyways, like always, if you had fun this week, you should subscribe because I guarantee you'll have fun next week because I do post weekly every single Monday. Anyways, love ya, great to see ya, and I will see you next week. Bye!